Welcome to Highway Herald, your roadmap to the latest in auto and beyond, where engines, economies, and industries all connect. Today, we're downshifting into an unexpected battleground, the North American tomato trade. Long intertwined like the automotive supply chain, it's now in turmoil after Washington imposed a 17% tariff on Mexican imports, abruptly ending decades of cooperation. The result? A $12 billion shockwave rippling across farms, borders, and global markets, rewriting how North America grows, buys, and trades its produce. Buckle up, because this tariff war may reshape more than just what ends up on your plate. Tearing up a 30-year truce, when the suspension agreement exploded. For nearly 3 decades, the U.S.-Mexico tomato trade balanced on a fragile truce, a suspension agreement that froze anti-dumping disputes in exchange for minimum pricing guarantees. The 2019 revision tried to modernize the rules with stricter quality checks, seasonal price floors, and stronger oversight to prevent market manipulation. It wasn't perfect, but it kept cross-border commerce steady and growers on both sides relatively secure. Then came Washington's abrupt shift. Cancel the deal and slap a flat 17% tariff across the board. The intent sounded patriotic, shield American farmers from unfair competition, but the execution shattered predictability. Importers were forced to post cash duties up front, distributors faced chaotic pricing swings, and grocery chains couldn't plan weekly promotions without risking losses. Consumers, already bruised by food inflation, saw another surge at the checkout line. The outcome? The flow of tomatoes that once symbolized North American integration now mirrors a market in crisis, where volatility rewards scale, capital, and endurance, leaving smaller farms gasping for air in a race they can no longer afford to run. But as the U.S. strained under its own policies, Canada was quietly rewriting its rulebook, turning regulatory caution into an entirely new sourcing strategy. Canada's cold shoulder, from technical checks to a permanent pivot. Canada described its tomato import rejections in cold technical terms, phrases like pesticide residue thresholds and inspection compliance. But beneath that bureaucratic calm was a calculated shift. Ottawa wasn't reacting. It was pivoting strategically. For nearly a decade, Canada had been investing heavily in high-tech greenhouses across British Columbia and Ontario, complete with climate control, hydroponic systems, and traceability tools that guarantee quality from seed to shelf. So when U.S. shipments began stalling at border checkpoints, Canadian buyers didn't panic, they evolved. Domestic greenhouses ramped up production, while procurement managers quietly diversified toward Mexican suppliers known for consistency and compliance. California's growers lost not just a customer, but a crucial seasonal stabilizer. Trucking routes thinned, packaging plants slowed, and local economies and farm towns took the hit. Canadian retailers, on the other hand, now prize resilience over relationships. Procurement scorecards favor on-time delivery and temperature reliability over legacy partnerships. What began as technical enforcement has hardened into a structural realignment, and the old rhythm of U.S.-Canada tomato trade isn't coming back. Before we delve deeper, don't forget to subscribe to Highway Herald. Your support fuels our drive to bring you global insights on trade, transport, and the industries shaping tomorrow. Now, as Canada solidifies its fortress of supply reliability, Mexico is seizing the moment, turning crisis into opportunity. Mexico's $12 billion power surge, high-tech greenhouses, and smart logistics. While Washington wrestled with politics and Ottawa obsessed over compliance, Mexico stepped on the gas. Billions poured into cutting-edge greenhouses across Sinaloa, Sonora, and Baja, facilities powered by hydroponics, fertigation, climate automation, and AI-driven analytics that forecast yields and fine-tune water use. The result? A precision farming revolution delivering steady, high-grade tomatoes year-round. But Mexico's real genius wasn't just agricultural, it was strategic. It first captured European supermarket shelves with consistent quality and lower prices, then pulled off a masterstroke, rerouting production north to Canada. Through long-term, rail-linked supply contracts, Mexico transformed what looked like a trade setback into a $12 billion export corridor. For Canadian retailers, the benefits are clear: stable pricing, reliable supply, and greenhouse-grade quality. For Mexico, it's the ultimate pivot. turning dependency into dominance through data-driven, industrial-scale agriculture that redefines how the continent grows and trades food. Yet, amid Mexico's triumph, the story south of the border was far from celebratory. On American soil, the ripple effects of this trade war hit hardest in rural heartlands. The human toll. When a market crumbles, communities follow. Behind every spreadsheet and policy memo lies the human cost of a collapsing harvest. Washington's tariff gamble didn't just distort trade, it shattered predictability. Every expense a farmer faces, diesel, fertilizer, wages, and equipment leases, depends on one thing: a stable buyer. When that disappeared, credit lines froze, lenders tightened terms, and families were forced to sell machinery or leave acres idle just to stay afloat. The consequences rippled through entire communities. Packing houses cut shifts, independent truckers lost routes, and the local diner, the heartbeat of small-town life, grew silent. Schools saw enrollments plunge as migrant families moved away, draining budgets. Rural clinics reduced hours, and property values sank, eroding local tax bases that once funded roads and hospitals. Yet amid the wreckage, resilience glimmered. Co-ops merged to share costs. A few growers invested in greenhouses or niche crops like heirlooms and peppers, but agriculture moves at nature's pace, slow and unforgiving. By the time new policies arrive, a season or even a community's spirit may already be gone. And as America wrestled with its own economic scars, the rest of the continent was busy rewriting the rules of food power. Food as a weapon, the new rules of the tomato game. Tomatoes were once judged by price. Now, they're measured by performance. The produce industry has evolved into a logistics battleground where reliability, precision, and traceability define success. Retailers evaluate suppliers on delivery accuracy and cold chain stability rather than discounts, building supply ladders that favor partners who never miss a shipment. Mexico's AI-driven greenhouses and predictive logistics fit this model perfectly. Canada followed, turning food security into an engineered system. Both nations now treat tomatoes as infrastructure, permanent, planned, and data-driven. For Washington, tariffs can't rebuild competitiveness. The real race lies in controlled environment agriculture, automated irrigation, pest-resistant genetics, and analytics that forecast demand as precisely as yield. That means faster permitting, financial recognition for greenhouse assets, and stronger research links between universities and growers. Farmers who innovate, join co-ops, or specialize in premium varieties will thrive. Those who don't risk extinction. Because the next battles, whether over peppers, berries, or greens, will reward one thing above all: supply resilience. Which brings us to the bigger question. After all the policy misfires and market pivots, where does America stand now? Verdict: the tomato wars and America's crossroads. What began as a minor trade dispute has transformed the entire North American food chain. Washington's 17% tariff, intended to protect U.S. farmers, instead propelled Mexico into a global agricultural powerhouse and diverted billions in trade to Canada. This is no longer just about tomatoes. It's a glimpse of the next era of geopolitical food wars. Agriculture has become leverage, and Mexico now plays the game with precision. The verdict is unmistakable. While the United States battles the past with tariffs, its neighbors are engineering the future of farming, smarter, faster, and built for global dominance. So what do you think? Can the U.S. modernize its farming model fast enough to compete again? Will Mexico's high-tech tomato empire become the blueprint for global agriculture? And how should Canada balance food independence with cross-border cooperation? Share your thoughts below. Your perspective fuels the discussion. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to Highway Herald for more stories connecting engines, economies, and global trade. Thanks for watching and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's more exciting and informative content waiting for you.